and even the people throwing tomatoes at you. And be them so that there isn't one element of reactive charge that could influence you after you fully EP the incident. You know, that means the end phenomena, when you bring the incident to a close. And I was, you know, I did this in Spain. I also did another thing in Greece prior to that, in Corfu. It was an incident. What?
What was that about?
There was another incident where I was raped once when I was a girl in the town of Paleokastrica, and I had to go through that incident as well. I did that the first week, and then the second week I went to Malaga, Spain, and all the charge. See, the purpose of that was that even though the incident with Jesus Christ was my last lifetime, there is also a parallel track that I had to handle, which was I was CS to handle every lifetime that occurred in chronological time since the year minus 22 BC when I was born as Malchut, you know, and current physical time. So part of my handling was to go through and physically destimulate every lifetime that occurred on the chronological time track between that life and this one, which is why I had to complete those pretty severe incidents in Europe, you know. But here I was coming back on the plane, and I was thinking of how wonderful it's going to be. I'm going to finally get to the free winds, and you know, and then all of a sudden I was arrested.
Let me ask you this: what do they do on the free winds?
The free winds is the only place that delivers OT8. It isn't delivered at Flag.
Okay, now what's the... You told me about what the impact of completing OT8 is. Why don't you repeat it?
Okay. When you are an OT8 completion, you are not dependent upon the physical body to handle matter, energy, space, time, location, form, and event. If you want to spend the next billion years in a bubble of light, contemplating aesthetic beauty, you know, you've heard about the 9th and 10th dynamics. Okay, that's in a PDC tape. You could do that, but of course that's not really part of my game. My game was, and is, to clear this planet. And I need the power to have the ability to clear the planet. And
you mean to make everybody realize the truth? Is that what?
No, clearing is to have half the planet go exterior. The Christians who were stuck in these visios of the Between Lives area. And of course, you know, you have to understand a little bit about the time track of Christ.
Hold on a second. I'm going to take you back. Finish telling me about the OT8s.
Okay. Because I got to tell you about the time track of Christ too. You know, it gets into my case.
Finish the OT8s first.
Okay. On the ship, basically what happens is this. You're doing the OT8 levels, and your body, you're not in your body for a long period of time. I'm not talking about for an hour or two or even an intensive. You're out of the body for a long period of time. The body is actually hooked up to a life support system and is given fluids and is like you would put a person in a coma on a life support system. And you are so individuated from the body, I mean, it doesn't matter that the body is laying there. You are the Thetan doing your OT8 level, not even anywhere remotely near the body. You don't even need that body to do that level. And you have no physical dependency upon the body when you do Truth Revealed. When you do Truth Revealed, you first go down to the course room, you get your OT8 pack, and that whole process takes maybe 3 hours, and then you do the level. And by doing the level means you're out of the body for as long as it takes to do the level. And some people have taken 3-4 weeks to do that level.
What do you do when you do the level? I don't understand.
Well, I haven't done the level, so I can't tell you. I haven't even been trained to audit anyone to do that level.
Has anybody explained what it is?
Well, yes. I went to the briefing that they had by OT8 completions. There was one there, one beautiful girl I fell in love with. Her name is Ivy Turnus. Are you familiar with Ivy Turnus?
No.
Okay. She did the OT8 levels on the ship. She was one of the first graduates, and she came down to Miami to talk to the upper-level Scientologists who were interested in going fully to OT8. And I was at the briefing, and she was just telling me about some of the things that they did. They were able to stop 104 wars on Earth just by postulate. It was at the time when there was this whole thing about the Iran-Contra business, and there was war. There was the Libya thing. They stopped that. They stopped it all at once, and the next day, everything was fine. It was like everybody went into great ARC with everybody else, and like they diffused a bunch of wars. Like she said, 104 wars.
You mean wars that we would have had recently?
Yeah, they stopped these wars from happening.
These are wars that were on the verge of breaking out on the planet.
Right, exactly, and some were in progress. And she personally, together with the third dynamic OT8 comps, say that you can't be an OT8 and be working individually. You work on the third dynamic, which is Scientology. These people together diffused the charge on an entire group of N-theta people on this planet.
How do you know that?
I know it. I know it. I have certainty. There's no doubt in my mind.
Tell me a little bit about the dynamics and the importance to mankind of clearing the planet. I mean, tell me about the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics. Explain all that concept for me.
When a person knows that they are a spiritual being and that they are an immortal being, they are no longer going to be giving consideration to current lifetime to the degree that they do ordinarily. For example, you're an attorney. You're a psychologist. I hate that word, but I like you though. But
that's okay. Make you feel better. I'm really not a psychologist. I've told you that before.
I know that, but that's true. All right. You know the lock I have on that whole concept. Okay. You live 70, 80 years. You build up a practice. You accomplish things for your clients. But what do you actually have at the end of 80 years? You drop your body and you've lost your identity, your possessions, and your memory. You drop your body, you go to the Between Lives area, and maybe, if you're lucky, you won't wind up in the year 600 as a member of the Zulu tribe of Ethiopia, you know, or whatever. The machine will get it.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, let me rephrase that last thing I was asking about. Within the Scientology community,
Yes.
there's the concept of the dynamics.
Right. The greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics.
Okay. With that in mind, explain what that means.
That means there are 8 dynamics. And, of course, you know what they are. Mark may not know. The first dynamic is the dynamic to survive or to be as yourself. Second, is as a family member, family unit, as a spouse. The third would be the group. Scientology is considered the third dynamic. Fourth is mankind. Fifth is all life forms, which would include the plant and the animal kingdom. Sixth is the entire physical universe. Seventh is spirits, other thetans. And 8, it would be considered the infinite, or God, or the creator dynamic, you can call it that. That would be the 8th dynamic.
Okay, in that scheme, who would you be benefiting by revealing the truth about your being Christ's Father and thereby leading large numbers of people to Scientology?
All 8 dynamics.
How important an act would that have been?
The most important act in my entire 76 trillion years.
How would you balance out the, you know, you've heard the phrase, you can't make an omelet without breaking an egg. How do you balance out the interests of various people when it comes to good for the largest number of dynamics.
Well,